Welcome, fellow gardeners. If you love the idea of stepping into your garden and plucking juicy homegrown tomatoes, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below sharing your tomato growing experiences or any challenges you've faced. This guide is packed with hands-on tips, practical examples, and insider knowledge to help both beginners and seasoned gardeners cultivate healthy, productive tomato plants at home. By the end, you'll know exactly how to turn a tiny seed or young seedling into a thriving tomato plant that feeds your family and adds color and life to your garden. Tomatoes are one of the most rewarding vegetables to grow because they respond so well to attention, and once you understand their needs, you can practically watch them grow before your eyes. The first step is choosing the right type of tomato for your home garden. There are two main categories: determinate and indeterminate. Determinate tomatoes, sometimes called bush tomatoes, grow to a set size and produce all their fruit in a short period. Indeterminate varieties continue to grow and bear fruit throughout the season, producing a steady supply. If you have limited space or containers, determinate types like Roma or Bush Early Girl are ideal. For long-term harvests in a backyard garden, indeterminate varieties like beefsteak or cherry tomatoes provide a continual harvest and are perfect for trellising. Once you've picked your variety, the next crucial step is starting your tomatoes from seeds. You can use seed trays or small pots filled with a light, well-draining seed starting mix. A good mix ratio is 2 parts peat or cocoa coir, 1 part perlite and 1 part vermiculite. This ensures the seeds have both moisture retention and drainage. Plant your seeds about a 1/4 inch deep, gently firm the soil over them, and water lightly. Tomatoes love warmth, so keep the trays in a bright window that receives at least 6 hours of sunlight, or use a grow light positioned a few inches above the seedlings. Maintaining a temperature around 22 to 25 degrees Celsius will encourage faster germination, usually within 5 to 10 days. Once seedlings develop 2 sets of true leaves, it's time to transplant them into larger pots. This step, called potting up, is essential because tomatoes grow rapidly and need room for their roots. When transplanting, plant the seedlings deeper than they were in the seed tray, burying 2/3 of the stem. This encourages the plant to develop a stronger root system along the buried stem, which leads to sturdier, more productive plants. If you notice your seedlings are leggy or stretching for light, this deeper planting technique is even more critical. For planting your tomatoes in the garden or in larger containers, location is everything. Tomatoes need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day. Choose a spot that is sheltered from strong winds, but still gets plenty of morning sun. If you're growing in pots, a south-facing balcony or patio works beautifully. Ensure the soil is fertile, loose, and well-draining. You can enrich garden soil by mixing in compost or well-rotted manure at a ratio of roughly 1 part compost to 3 parts soil. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, and providing them with a nutrient-rich foundation sets the stage for a bountiful harvest. Once your plants are in the ground, water management becomes key. Tomatoes prefer consistent moisture but dislike waterlogging. Deep, infrequent watering encourages strong roots. Aim for about 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch of water per week, adjusting for rainfall. In containers, check moisture daily. The soil should feel damp but not soggy. Drip irrigation or soaker hoses are excellent ways to water tomatoes efficiently while keeping leaves dry, which helps prevent fungal diseases. Speaking of disease, mulching with straw-dried leaves or even cardboard around the base of your plants helps retain moisture, regulate soil temperature, and reduce soil-borne diseases splashing onto the leaves. Fertilization is another pillar of tomato success. Early in the growth stage, a balanced fertilizer like a 10-10-10 NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, works well to support leaf and root development. Once flowers start forming, switch to a phosphorus and potassium-rich fertilizer such as a 5-10-10 mix to encourage flowering and fruiting. Apply fertilizers every 2 to 3 weeks, following package instructions for quantity. Over-fertilizing, especially with nitrogen, can result in lush foliage but few tomatoes, so moderation is key. You can also use natural alternatives like compost tea, fish emulsion, or seaweed extract to provide nutrients gradually and improve soil health. Supporting your tomato plants is another essential practice. Indeterminate varieties need stakes, cages, or trellises to prevent sprawling and make harvesting easier. A simple wooden stake driven into the soil beside each plant allows you to tie the main stem loosely with soft cloth strips. Cages work wonderfully for bushier plants, keeping fruit off the ground and reducing rot. Regular pruning of suckers, the small shoots that grow in the crotch between the main stem and branches, redirects energy from excess foliage into fruit production. However, don't prune too aggressively. Leaving enough leaves ensures the plant can photosynthesize efficiently. Monitoring for pests and diseases is part of every gardener's routine. Tomato plants can attract aphids, whiteflies, and caterpillars, while fungal diseases like blight or powdery mildew can also be an issue. Inspect your plants frequently, removing affected leaves and applying organic remedies like neem oil or insecticidal soap when necessary. Companion planting with basil, marigold, or nasturtium can also help repel certain pests naturally, while attracting pollinators to boost fruit set. Harvesting your tomatoes at the right time is both an art and a science. For the best flavor, allow the fruit to ripen fully on the vine. Depending on the variety, tomatoes can take anywhere from 60 to 85 days from transplanting to reach maturity. They should be firm but slightly soft to the touch, with rich, vibrant color. Gently twist or cut the fruit from the vine to avoid damaging the plant. You can also pick slightly underripe tomatoes and let them ripen indoors if pests or birds are a problem. Finally, caring for your tomato plants throughout the season includes regular inspection, watering, and fertilization, as well as occasional cleaning of the lower leaves to reduce disease risk. Remember, every garden is different. Soil type, sunlight, and climate influence growth, so don't be discouraged if your plants don't look like the ones in pictures. Gardening is about observation, adjustment, and learning from each season. Keep notes on what works, and your tomato growing skills will improve year after year. Growing tomatoes at home is a journey that rewards patience, attention, and love for your garden. By starting with the right seeds, providing fertile soil, managing water and nutrients carefully, supporting plants physically, and protecting them from pests and disease, you'll enjoy a harvest that's not only abundant, but rich in flavor and satisfaction. There's something incredibly special about turning a small seed into a plant heavy with ripe, sun-warmed fruit. It's the essence of home gardening. So, fellow gardeners, if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Evergreen Garden. For more detailed, practical gardening advice, comment below and share your experiences, successes, or challenges with growing tomatoes. Sharing your tips and stories not only helps others, but builds a community of gardeners passionate about turning their spaces into thriving green paradises. Let's grow together and make every season more fruitful than the last.